As we know by now, we're a few days away from the next operation within Black Ops 4. Operation Absolute Zero is wrapping up as of 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday, to which we're going to roll right into the next one. And this past week has had no shortage of surprises in terms of little teasers and hints as to what we can expect with this massive game update coming as of Tuesday. That, again, encompassing all of 1.13, that giant update that has a ton of stuff outside just the content that is also being added in. But today we're going to talk about these teasers that we've seen starting on Monday and recap everything that we've seen so far for you guys to break it all down, give you guys more relative information, and maybe even also answer some of the burning questions as to what some of these really mean. So that said, we've got a decent bit to talk about, so let's start out with the very beginning. Last week, we actually saw the first initial teasers here for this, not necessarily clearly defined as teasers for the next operation, but it was definitely something fishy. As of last week, we ended up seeing a couple of things. We saw, firstly, Treyarch change their profile picture to what you'll see on screen right now. It is one of those surveying stakes that have been added in around the map. Now, again, yes, you guys did point out that some of them have been there from the very beginning of the game, but there have been a lot more added in as of the recent week and a half, or 2 weeks at this point, since a little stealth patch happened to add these in, and also a change to the map of frequency that took, again, the specialist backstories off the monitors on that map. But we saw a ton of these added in, so to clearly play along with the meme, Treyarch ended up making that their official Twitter's profile picture. Then we ended up seeing that there was one for the buried lollipop as their profile picture for a short period of time as well, and then at that point they also changed the banner, which as of yesterday was still the same, that being the buried clock face in the dirt. Now I'm not talking about the map buried, but I'm talking it's actually buried in the dirt. The clock face itself, I initially thought it was Der Eisendrache, but my good buddy Inkslasher actually did some more digging and investigating here at this, and it's actually the clock face that is seen on the map Outlaw, the Black Ops 3 reimagination of Standoff. So that brought us to where we were as of Monday, to kick off an actual full week of teasers that we know is going to be for the next operation. So come Monday, we ended up seeing that we had two things. Firstly, a Blackout teaser for the brand new map coming, or the changes that will be happening as of Tuesday, with a caption from the Call of Duty Twitter saying, "Here's the plan." Now, it's about a 6-second teaser where you start to see some red X's all around the map. You get to see a larger red X down below Turbine to the east of Factory, and it just really showcases what looks like some alterations all around the map. Now, those X's may seem to correlate with the newer stakes that are around the map. Again, like we mentioned, some of them have been there from the very beginning, but some of them are definitely brand new. As for what they correlate to and what we'll actually see go in those locations, that is still a mystery. There's a lot of different theories out there that stem from just smaller buildings to a full-fledged train system going around the map, but that's something that we have absolutely no idea. The one thing, though, that is a little bit more curious is that the larger X is down there in that southeast corner. That's where we did see that buried lollipop sign, in which maybe that's where we see buried. And a good theory that I also saw was that right by that X, you end up seeing what looks like a little bit of a clock sketch. So maybe we also see Standoff in some regard going there, or Outlaw from Black Ops 3. So that might be the next location for the next big POI, but your guess is as good as mine. And then as well on Monday, we also saw something not from the Call of Duty Twitter, but from the Treyarch Twitter, in which it kind of started to create a little bit of a pattern, which we'll see as we progress through this week here in terms of the content. There was a change to the profile picture of the Treyarch Twitter to a patch that was a skull and wolf, with a blackout background of that main menu in that pregame lobby. Now, the backing image is key, and we'll mention why in just a second further, but just keep a mental note of that as of right now. Now, the initial idea with this was that maybe this was a prestige icon of some sort, or some designation that you'll hit a max level, maybe be able to grind echelons up until like level 1000 in MP or something similar, but the idea was that it would be new ranks in Blackout. But there also was a conflicting idea that it might be a brand new specialist patch, denoting a new specialist coming as of this new event. And that also makes complete sense to believe as well, because if you have any of the collector's editions of Black Ops 4 that came with those specialist patches, you'll notice that each of them does refer to an animal, and of course the idea that there's already established patches for those specialists, that's something that's easy to believe. So equally two great theories, but until it's officially announced, we of course don't know for sure. But that is something definitely curious and presents a big question mark for me, but we'll get to that again in just a second. Now, come Tuesday, we saw again another teaser from the Call of Duty Twitter, and also a new Treyarch profile picture change. As for the teaser itself from the official Call of Duty Twitter, it was again another 6-second teaser with the caption of "to support and defend." The footage with that attached video looks to be a tease with a server room and a monitor that displays the LAPD in-game crest and what looks like shots of outside the room for what may be a map itself. Pretty straightforward with this one, I can imagine, but to me it's the Black Ops Pass map, and it's one that makes sense because it has been quite a bit of time since we last saw Madagascar and Elevation that were introduced to pass holders. So this, as of Tuesday, was our first introduction at new maps coming as of the event as well. And we'll talk about just in a second the validation of that, but that said, there also was again another Treyarch profile picture change. This time one with a bland smoke background, but what looks to be like a game mode icon. If you cross the designs from any of the other game modes right now in that menu selection, it does look very similar. But the curious part to me is that this looks very much like a one in the chamber type of game icon. So maybe we end up seeing the classic return in some capacity, maybe as a limited time mode. I would prefer maybe not. I'd love to see the introduction of party modes just in general in its own little separate playlist like that, like how we saw with Black Ops 3 towards the end of the life cycle, and also all games before that. But one of the chambers seemingly was teased at that point as well, which is pretty awesome. And then, come yesterday, we ended up seeing that again, the pattern continues. We got another video from the Call of Duty Twitter, and also another profile picture change. As of the video for the Call of Duty Twitter, we again got another what I would imagine is a map teaser with a caption of "always bet on black," with that 6-second video showcasing again a security feed with what again seems to be images of the map surrounding it. And what is actually really curious about this, making it the second of 2 maps we'll probably see here with this in the Black Ops Pass update, is that these were actually leaked beforehand. The Woo lads, we talked about them here on the channel, ended up saying that we would get a map revolving around a casino and an LAPD station, both of which seem to be confirmed by these 2 videos. So that validation is there just as a little side note and is definitely interesting. And as for the profile picture that we got as of yesterday, this one is actually one that if you follow some leaks, we've seen before. This was a previously leaked perk icon for zombies. We don't know what it is, we don't know what it does, but it was found before just with no details associated with it. This then, coming back to the background, has a backing image of 5 or classified. And clearly, if it wasn't already clear enough, it's denoting a teaser for zombies. So coming back to the initial idea of that patch background dealing with Blackout, it seems like this now kind of covers all bases, and that Blackout would make sense for that to be the one, because we saw multiple map updates in terms of those teasers. We saw one for zombies, we saw something coming to multiplayer, but nothing for Blackout in the way of those teasers and that patch with that backing image of the Blackout pregame lobby. It makes sense, doesn't it? But as it stood as of yesterday, we presumably had all areas of the game, again, multiplayer, zombies, and Blackout, possibly accounted for in terms of some new teasers, with a potential new ranking system and new map updates in Blackout, then also with the new maps and possibly a new mode in MP, and also seemingly a new perk and maybe even a hint at the next gauntlet in zombies. All 3 main modes were accounted for. And that brings us to today. Today's teasers, we ended up getting a couple of things actually, 3 in particular, one being a PlayStation banner, one being a Facebook banner update, one being a new image on Twitter for the profile picture, and also an actual tweet and little video still from PlayStation, not Call of Duty, not Treyarch, but PlayStation themselves. So start out with that one here. The PlayStation tweet comes with a video that says the chase awaits, with what looks like some sort of sports car followed by multiple police vehicles, an ATV, and a helo. And so, therefore, first thing that comes into my mind is that we're going to be getting a couple of new vehicles. I don't know exactly about that hot rod, but the police vehicle I thought maybe could work out to be the counter, or I guess comparable vehicle to the ARAV. The ARAV is a faster vehicle that has 3 spots, not 4, so the way that I think that this might work out in the police vehicle is, say, 4 for a squad, 4 seats, no armor, is a little bit faster than the ARAV, no machine gun, obviously, and so therefore it's kind of a counterbalancing act that you don't have something that is super armored, but can still offer a lot of mobility for a full squad. Because the only thing that really does offer some speed is that of the ATV, and that's a 2-passenger vehicle. The helicopter, of course, you can end up fitting 4 people in. You go pretty fast, obviously, in that because you don't have to worry about the environment, but those are very infrequent in spawning. That, or it also could denote a brand new game mode coming at some point, maybe say a cops and robbers type of thing, a limited time mode coming with Operation 3 here. We don't exactly know, but it's definitely curious, and it's certainly the most out there that we've seen of these little teasers so far in the past week. As for Treyarch's profile picture, they ended up just changing it to the first when emblem, nothing too fancy with that one, but the interesting part is in the background, because it looks like a clock tower. And if you really want to go a little bit further and speculate, big shout out to my man Josh Brewer over on Twitter who tweeted me this one, in which he ended up piecing it together, and it looks very much so from his image like the clock tower from Outlaw, the standoff remake from Black Ops 3, and that still falls in line with some of the theory we've had about the location and interesting potential POI coming in Blackout as well. So maybe that is that little case closed there, but of course, as we start to get more stuff coming in the next couple of days in terms of information, that'll all be cleared up. And the final thing that we want to talk about deals with the cover photo for Treyarch's Facebook page, to which you can see the image on screen right now. And this one is rather interesting. It falls in line with that skull that we saw from the patch with the skull and wolf, but nothing really else. We see a pistol there, and this might potentially mean a new specialist, but truthfully, your guess is as good as mine. This one has me absolutely stumped, so I'd definitely love to hear your thoughts in the comments on this one. But that said, that's where we're at as of today. There's still probably a lot coming up as of tomorrow, maybe even, with potentially a full-on trailer, potentially a blog post detailing everything like what we saw at the Friday before Operation Absolute Zero started. As for what it could all culminate into, your guess is as good as mine, but I'm certainly excited to see where this leads, and of course, we're still only a few days away from seeing everything come in with the 1.13 update as of Tuesday. So the anticipation's building, at least on my end. I'm very excited here for this, and I'm ready to jump into some new content. So that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you guys think of this here? What do you think some of these mean? Is there anything that you think makes sense out of what we detailed? Anything that you would maybe rebuttal and give a counter argument for, that maybe something else is really this or that? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, multiplayer, Blackout, zombies. We got you covered the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and of course, with all the new content coming out in the next couple of days, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, there's the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever that may be, link is down there in the description below. But let's head out of the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.